What's going on, guys, and welcome back to the channel. PlayStation released some intricate details this week regarding the PlayStation VR2's controllers. We're going to go over those details and in addition compare them to the Oculus Quest. Let's get into the details and the comparison right now. So yeah, guys, as you can see here, the next gen VR on the PlayStation 5 released from the PlayStation blog earlier on this week. You can see that the controllers are vastly different to what we're used to. Previously, we had used the PlayStation Move controllers in conjunction with the DualShock 4 controllers. Now during this generation, we do in fact get dedicated controllers. And if you look closely, they do in fact resemble the Oculus Quest. The PlayStation blog says that the first thing you'll notice about the next gen VR controller is the unique design, which takes an orb shape that allows you to hold the controller naturally while playing with a high degree of freedom. There are no constraints with how you're moving your hands, and this provides developers with the ability to create unique gameplay experiences. They continue by saying that they designed the new controller with great ergonomics in mind, so it's well balanced and comfortable to hold in each of your hands. We applied the learnings from testing users with a range of hand sizes, as well as decades of insights from controllers all across PlayStation platforms. They say that the result is an iconic design that will change how VR games are played. Now, like I said, you look at the picture of the PlayStation VR controller and you compare it side to side with the Oculus Quest controller. Here it is right here. I mean, look how eerily similar the controllers are. Sure, they went ahead and they took feedback, but they probably just said, hey, why don't you just design this controller similar to the Oculus Quest, because we love the way that feels. Personally, I don't blame them. It looks great. I got the opportunity to play the Oculus Quest at E3, and I gotta say, the controller itself is very ergonomic and intuitive to use as well. This controller, like I said, it's very similarly designed to that, so I'm thinking it's gonna be quite a similar experience. Now, as far as features go, this controller is going to have similar features that we're already used to when it comes to the DualSense controller. I'm talking the adaptive triggers as well as the haptic feedback. But in addition, it's also going to have finger touch detection, which PlayStation describes it as the controller detecting your fingers without pressing any areas of where you place your thumb, index, or middle fingers. Now, this is going to enable you to make more natural gestures with your hands during gameplay. Of course, tracking the VR controller is going to be tracked by the new VR headset, which we have yet to see, through a tracking ring across the bottom of the controller. And of course, action and analog sticks. The left controller contains one analog stick, triangle and square buttons, and a grip button, L1, L2, and a create button. The right controller is going to go ahead and contain an analog stick, the cross and circle buttons, a grip button, R1 and R2 buttons, as well as the options button. Now, the grip button is going to be able to be used to pick up in-game objects as well. Sound familiar, Oculus fans? Now again, as promised, I want to go ahead and compare both of these controllers head to head and see how they match up. Again, the main thing between both of these controllers is that they're designed for ergonomics. Now, when it comes to these controllers, the number one thing in mind is the fact that how ergonomic and comfortable they are. Both the Quest 2 and the next gen PlayStation VR or PlayStation VR2 controllers have been redesigned for ergonomic purposes. If you recall, playing with the original PlayStation VR, most movements were conducted using the PlayStation Move controller. You may remember that using that controller was pretty unconventional. Didn't feel too comfortable. The next gen PlayStation VR controller is meant to have a more robust design with comfort and intuitiveness, similar to what we see here with the Oculus. The Quest 2 touch controller also had an improved haptics motor, which was intended to allow some HD rumble features from controllers similar to, of course, PlayStation DualSense controller. Similarly, we are going to have these kind of features as well with the new PlayStation VR controllers. I would slightly give the edge to the PlayStation VR controllers based on what I've seen with the DualSense controller. The PlayStation DualSense controller is by far the best controller I've ever used in the history of gaming. It's unbelievable, and the fact that this tech is going to be coming to VR, that's going to bring a whole new sense of breaking down the fourth wall as you engage in VR. Button layout appears to be very similar between both controllers, and in addition, both controllers also have an analog stick, in addition to a grip button. When comparing both of these controllers in terms of comfort, it's going to come down to which one feels more natural in your hand. When I held the Oculus Quest controller back in E3, it took a little bit to get used to. It was a little bit of a learning curve, but once I got over that learning curve, the adjustment was just fine. I assume that the controller adjustment is going to be very similar as well when it comes to the PlayStation VR2 or the next-gen PlayStation VR. We can't compare the range of motion yet, but when it comes to the Oculus Quest, you can go ahead and play this pretty much anywhere in a given space, free of wires. The thing with the PlayStation VR2 or the next-gen PlayStation VR is the fact that it won't be wireless. It will have at least one cord connecting to the console itself. This, of course, gives the edge to the Oculus Quest. We'll have to see how things turn out when it comes to range of movement when the PlayStation VR2 comes out, but at the end of the day, you can tell that these controllers are both very, very ergonomic and intuitive feeling. I'll be very interested to see the headset for the PlayStation VR2 once the details for that are released and compare that with the Oculus as well. Once that information is fully released, we should be able to finally compare side by side the Quest and the next-gen PlayStation VR side by side, spec to spec. We'll see how they line up once that information is released. It should be coming here pretty soon since we did get a sneak peek of the controllers and the features going down with that. I'll keep you guys in a loop with that when that information is released. If you guys enjoyed this video, you know what to do. Go ahead and subscribe and smash that like button as I push videos out like this quite often. Additionally, if you want to get notified for whenever a new video gets published, be sure to click on the bell. I'm A.P. Albert Perkins, and we will see you in the next video. Until then, and as always guys, peace.